Sorry, I just realized I think my volume was off, but my name is Leslie. I'm one of the coaches in the group. So for those of you who don't know me, welcome. I'm excited to get to know y'all. I am going to give you a little bit about my kind of backstory, how I ended up in coaching real quick, and then I'm going to go over some common kind of misconceptions and some fears that people have. So I started coaching right at 5 years ago. I was in the corporate world and I was about... Oh, good. I'm glad you can hear me, Marcy. I thought my volume was off at first. I was in the corporate world and I was 35 pounds heavier at the time. I was trying to remember if that was I was at my heaviest then. I was 35 pounds heavier and I had just become very unhappy in my job. I became more of a negative person and it was spilling over into my family life with my husband and my kids. And I was working from home one day and I looked at my husband and was just griping because that's what I did a lot of back then. And he looked at me and said, "You need to talk to my friend Kimberly." And so I was like, I don't know what Kimberly's about, but okay. I knew nothing about Beachbody. I had seen infomercials about the workouts and stuff, but I really knew nothing about it. I didn't know anything about the shakes or about Shakeology. I knew nothing about any of the other amazing products we have. And I was probably the biggest skeptic. I was like, this is a joke. It's a pyramid scheme. It's fake. Who's really going to follow at-home programs? But I was sick of griping myself. And so I talked to Kimberly, who's my coach, and I asked her a lot of questions. So I want to encourage you to ask a lot of questions too. That's what we're here for. And we want to make you feel confident and comfortable in your decision. So ask away. But so I talked to Kimberly a lot. And I finally was like, what do I have to lose? And so I decided to sign up as a coach primarily because I wanted the discount. But in the back of my head, I kind of had little light bulbs going off of, well, I mean, if friends are going to join me, I might as well take advantage of being able to earn some income too. And I hated my job, so, maybe a dream would come up. And so I started coaching, and the first thing I did was I invited a close group of friends of mine. I just said, hey, I'm doing this for my health and I want accountability. Do you want to join me? And so I had a couple friends join me right away. And that's when I was like, the first check came in and I was like, oh, I can actually make money off of this, which we'll go over in another video on how to earn tomorrow. But it happened pretty quickly for me. I was like, oh, that was an eye-opener. But so I started my own personal journey, and I really kicked off in January that year. Like I started in November, end of November, but of course nobody goes full force, right? The holidays. And so I really started following a program in January. And by mid-March, I had lost my 30 pounds that I thought I wanted to lose. I ultimately lost 35 and was feeling amazing. My energy was up. I was more positive just from being surrounded by the community and leaning in and doing personal development with our team because our team's so amazing. And people were like, what are you doing? Because you're nice again. And so I really just kind of started talking to friends, and I shared my journey throughout on social media. That was one thing I did from the beginning that I think helped me be successful was I shared my ups and downs. I shared the day I eat pizzas and drink wine and drink beer still or have hamburgers and french fries or whatever, but I also share the days that I work hard even when I don't want to. And so I was able to attract some people pretty quickly that way. And so I, after coaching for 2 years, was able to leave the corporate world. A lot of people ask me like, hey, did you replace your whole income? And my income was very nice. So no, I did not replace it all right away. But I was close enough and comfortable enough to where we felt like I could leave the corporate world. And so my husband and I made that decision. So I then stayed home with my kids for 2 years. And oddly enough, this year I was not looking to go back to work full time, but I was called and asked to come in for a nonprofit company to work with foster kids. And that was something that had always been on my heart. I had worked for Child Protective Services years ago, and I was just drawn to helping kids, but that job does not pay enough to support a family, at least the family life that my husband and I wanted. And so I was put in a position this February that because of my coaching salary, I could go back and follow my dream of helping children. And so I now work with foster children again. But but that income basically helps pay for some extra after school care for the kids. And so really my income still comes from coaching. And I would not be able to follow my heart and do my dreams, not only with the coaching, but also with foster kids, if it wasn't for the coaching opportunity. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. And I'm here today, though, to actually talk about some common misconceptions and things that come up. So the first one I want to talk about is people often feel like, I just don't know how to start. I'm going to be overwhelmed. And one thing I want to definitely reassure you of is our team is amazing at setting you up for success. If you follow the simple steps and you dive in with us, it doesn't mean every day is going to be easy, but it can be simple, and you can choose your pace. You can choose to hit the ground running. You can choose to take things slower. It's really up to you and how you want to do it. But we have full trainings and support in our team. We have weekly team calls, and we even do power hours where we teach you several times a day how to work the business in just an hour a day or less and be successful. Which actually brings me to the next one I hear a lot is people talk about, I don't have a following on social media. And I will tell you, I had no following on social media either. When I first started, I did not have an Instagram account. Didn't even really know what Instagram was. And that is something that I have had to kind of learn throughout the way, but that's what we do in coaching is we learn and we grow together. And I want to reassure you though that by being yourself and being authentic in your story, you're going to attract the people who are like you that want to not only join your team, but that want to be on your journey with you. So don't be afraid if you don't have a huge following or anything like that. That's where we want to grow together with you and help you share your journeys so that you're attracting the right people for you. Another misconception that I hear a lot is kind of like, well, what if I do this and I don't love the product and then I feel stuck and then I have to have all these products at home and that kind of stuff. That is another amazing thing with Beachbody. When I signed up knowing nothing about the products, every time someone signs up, they're given a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if I had not immediately seen the progress that I was seeing, I could have shipped everything back and just been done with it. But it is so rare that people do that because if you truly follow a program, even if you're not 100%, but if you follow a program and use the products, you're going to see success and you're going to feel amazing. But even if for whatever reason you decide it's not, Marcy, I'll have to, hold on. Yes, you do not have to be on the training live. Thank you for clarifying that. Those power hours are focused, but if they don't work in your schedule, we still teach you how to work it on your own. Good point there, Marcy. Thank you. What was I talking about? Totally got thrown off now, Marcy. I'm drawing a blank. I was talking about feelings like, the products. So the great thing is we don't have to keep any products at home. We keep nothing here. So you're not stuck with any of that. You have the 30-day money back guarantee, but I promise you if you dive in with us, you're going to feel great and you're going to want to stick with us. But of course we know it doesn't work for everybody. So if that's what happens for whatever reason, we're still going to love you and support you, but you're not stuck or committed to it. But it's great because we don't have to have any of this stuff at home. And then the last thing I kind of want to talk about is probably the biggest one I hear is people say that, but I'm not at my goal weight yet. Like, how can I be a coach when I'm not where I want to be or where I feel like I should be helping people get? And I will say, starting out as a coach, that's probably actually the best way to start. If you're already at your goal weight, that is great. We can also help you share your journey in different ways. But when you're not there, it's amazing how when you are honest and vulnerable on Facebook, and I know that sounds scary, but we can teach you to do that in a non-scary way also. But when you are honest and vulnerable and you share your journey, people are going through the same thing. We don't always like to talk about it, but we are. And so people are going to watch you and they're going to see that and they're going to be impressed because you're strong enough to do it. And they're going to think, they're going to have their doubts, but then they're going to be like, you know what? If she's doing it, I can do this too. And so I just want you to know it really doesn't matter if you're at your goal weight or not. I can tell you right now, we've been going through a lot of stuff. I'm sure everybody has in 2020. It's kind of crazy. I've probably put on about 5 to 8 pounds again. I am not where I want to be, but I get to share that with people and say, this is the real me and this is what's happening. And guess what? I get to also show my next transformation when I jump back on it and I get back to my 6-pack abs, which I've never had a six pack. I'm just kidding. But that's not my goal, so that's okay. But when I at least get back to the weight that I want to be at. So I hope that helped answer some of the questions you had, or some common misconceptions if you've had any fears. Please know that we've all had them, or somebody in our coaching community has had the same fear as you. So if you have questions, fears, or anything going on, we are here to support you. Please ask so we can make sure to address it. You can ask here in the group, or you can ask the coach who invited you here today. I hope that you have a great rest of your Friday. Can't wait for you to join us tomorrow. We'll see you later.